Yeah, I mean, just really proud of them. A number of opportunities where things could have gone the other way, and it just continued to fight and battle and come together. The timeouts were. It's great as a staff. We see it as the timeouts. They're starting to talk more to each other, and as they continue to do that and take a little more ownership of what's going on, it's just awesome to see, and it's a little more this game than last game. So I'm hoping that continues as much as anything. But just big plays down the stretch of the game, and again, Keyshawn Gilbert, he just goes in and he changes the flow of the game, and it's just fun to watch. He plays hard. The city's gonna love him. He plays basketball the way it's supposed to be played. And Donovan Williams did kind of uncharacteristic to ask him to go guard as Coach Buck calls them, earth movers, but he goes in there and he just plays as hard as he can. He didn't do anything other than that, and it was huge for us, especially with Royce getting a little foul trouble and those minutes, and then just because he's able to stretch the floor offensively as well. And those were just huge minutes, huge plays, and just really proud of them. And then out of that timeout, they couldn't have executed defensively any better what we asked them to do. We wanted them to guard their. We had about 3 actions we thought they might do, and they guarded it absolutely perfectly. So just really happy for them, and looking forward to watching the film and getting back with them tomorrow to get ready for Monday.
Jordan said in that last timeout that you asked the players what they wanted to do. What are you hoping to hear from them when you ask them that?
Confidence, really. We've got a number of things in that situation, as does everybody. Being up 3 with about 12-ish seconds left, foul, don't foul, zone, don't zone, full court. You've got a number of things that we've kind of touched on, and so we just kind of gave them the option. And they spoke and kind of bounced it off each other and decided they wanted to stick with what they were doing. And like I said, Royce stayed attached to Anticevich there, which was great. Jordan got over the screen of Jordan Shepard with the ball, and they did it perfectly. But I was really proud of them for that, because when you start doing that and you start attaching your name to it, you just get better.
You mentioned after last game that you spent more time defensively leading up to the season opener than offensively. Do you think that's paid off given the 2 defensive performances so far?
I think so, because again, like as we've talked about before, Royce Hamm was at a school for 4 years, 4 years of terminology, 4 years of drills. So to switch that, and then, Donovan being with him and Mike Nuga from a whole different set. So I do, though. I think they're getting better at it, and they're kind of starting to take on their own identity. They're starting to learn each other a little bit better and react off each other, and that's what we want to see, because we want them out there being unpredictable, annoying, but having fun.
Kevin, what did Jordan bring you guys today in his UNLV debut?
Yeah, I thought Jordan did a great job. You saw early, he came out, we were getting the ball moving, we were getting open shots, and I think he was a large part of that. He's really good at just kind of reading the defense and kind of reacting to how he's guarded. And so again, as they continue to play together more, I think they're just going to get better looks. And we probably settled there a little bit. We went through a stretch in the second half where we kind of settled, but we got back out there after a timeout and took the challenge to go get good looks. They're not all going to go in, but that's kind of what we challenge the guys to do, is to get the best look possible.
Yeah, big picture, do you like the way the offense played today against Cal's zone, or was there something else that you wanted to see?
Well, I mean, I wish they wouldn't have played so much zone, but yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of it until we prove that we can shoot people out of it. And again, 29 attempts, don't mind it. But we do have an emphasis on touching the paint. We want the ball to touch the paint and then be kicked out to the three-point line. And at that first, or it might have been the second media timeout, Coach Buckley mentioned we were 0 for 4 from 3 with no paint touch. And we had made every single 3 that came from the paint. So we'll show them on film. And the guys, it doesn't take a lot to convince them. They're an older group, so if you show them with film and numbers, they'll buy in pretty quickly.
And then you had today went with lineups with all 3-point guards, small lineups with no bigs, small lineups with 3-point guards. Just how would you assess those looks, and what gives you the confidence to go small and to have all 3 of those guys out there at the same time?
Oh, they're just fighters. I mean, Keyshawn, it doesn't matter if he was 6'8" or 6'1". I don't think it really matters. He's going to fight the same way. And yeah, the height and the size, I don't think that really matters to us. As long as they go out there and fight and compete, Marvin is going to go in there and throw his body around and rebound, and he did that. He had a huge rebound. I think about a minute and a half left. Cal could have easily grabbed it, laid it in. I think even taken the lead or tied it. But he goes in there and they battle and they compete. But again, until we're full strength, we're going to have to do some things with lineups. So, I'm just really proud of them the way they fought.
Hey, Kevin, you mentioned identity. After 2 games, what do you think your identity is right now, and where do you want it to be? What do you want it to be?
Well, I think our identity right now is that we play really hard. And I think that from day one, that even when we only had 3 guys on the roster, that was our goal, was you guys even leaving the Thomas and Max saying they play really hard. They have fun. Because if you play hard and have fun, they're all here. They're all talented enough to be successful and win and play together. So, but our identity, regardless, is going to be defense. I know that that might not be everybody's dream come true, but I just want them to just know that just have a confidence and a swagger about them that when we need stops, we'll get them. And then offensively, we just love to have freedom, just play for each other. And we opened the second half with 3 straight turnovers. So, but they weren't pressing for themselves. They were pressing to try to get a teammate a shot. And so we don't blame them for that. Now we just got to execute it a little better and just let them go have fun.
And you mentioned the threes, 29 tonight, 25 the other night. Is that something consciously that you want, or is that just more the free flow?
I think it's just a free flow, and we're not any different from a lot of teams. Any rhythm catch and shoot 3, we don't have any problem with anybody shooting it. They're good shooters. We just don't want them to be rushed. We don't want them to add a dribble to it to make it harder than it needs to be. A lot of times we say don't shoot a bad ball. If it's a bad pass, let your feet. If you catch it with one hand, we try to get away from those. But I think that stretch in the second half where we really struggled offensively, when we kind of had an opportunity to pop the game open a little bit, we were settling a little bit. And we didn't really take that challenge at that point to go get a good shot, good rhythm catch and shoot. But, these guys can shoot it. These guys can shoot it. And, no, don't have a problem with 29. 29 and 25. Just be nice to have a few more than 12 makes, but we'll get there.
Coach, what does this do for you and your guys in the locker room? You get a tight game on Wednesday night, come back tonight, and get in basically a knockdown, drag-out battle here that goes down to the wire against a Pac-12 team. What's this mean for your locker room?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. They're excited. Very easily could have gone the other direction, just like Wednesday. But it's getting them battle tested. I don't think to end up winning both games, I'm not sure if we could have scripted it any better. 10 new guys, 9 transfers, to go through these battles together. And as you guys know, the non-conference schedule doesn't get easier. So to have these moments where, I look down the bench there at the end and they're all eyes on me. They all want to go back in there and fight and compete. And there's just a lot of security and comfort that goes from doing that. But if we weren't in 2 knockdown games, drag them out games, I'm not sure if we'd know as much about each other. But no, we're not going to take any wins for granted. We're excited. We're going to take a deep breath though, and then get ready for Monday. Pretty quick turnaround.
Coach, you had that stretch, I'm hiding. You had the stretch, they had an 11-0 run midway through the second half. You kind of let your team play. They got a couple of shots, ended the run. Is not calling time out there, is that just kind of, hey, let's see how they respond to this. Let's see if they can fight their way through this? Yeah,
a little bit. Again, older guys, kind of want to see what they'll do. And are they going to talk? Are we going to splinter? But I thought they battled back. They communicated and got some good looks to end the run. And that's huge. If you can keep teams from making runs and you don't have to call timeouts and you can use them toward the end, because had we taken one there, we wouldn't have had one there with 12 seconds left to kind of, as you mentioned, ask them what they wanted to do. We would have just had to play it. So I think not having to call one there because they adjusted ended up being a pivotal point in the game.
At the end, they had 2 fouls to give, and then your third possession, when you were in their bonus, you go to McCabe. Did you want him with the ball in his hands, or was he just the open guy?
Him and Mike. And then Bryce coming back toward it at the end. But Mike and Jordan did a good job getting open. Jordan, he stepped up, knocked them both down, back rim. They were good, and got a lot of confidence in him shooting. He wants to be up there. and so does Mike. I mean, they're both going to fight to get open. So we'd rather be shooting it than be timid trying to catch it and maybe get a turnover. So having both them back there getting open gives us a lot of comfort.
And then last thing for me is, you talked about the defensive effort in general, but on Shepard, you guys really made him take some bad shots, 3 for 17 in the game. What was how proud were you of that effort, and how much of a focus was he?
Well, Jordan Shepard, oddly enough, I spent every day with him for a year at Oklahoma, and I know that, I think maybe they could kind of sense it in our voice, me and Coach Hardman, that, we know Jordan, and he's very talented, very athletic, very quick, shifty, and if you're not a pest, and he gets a rhythm, he can really get going. So, no, they did a great job on him. They switched up the ball screen coverage, so he didn't give it the same look every time, and that's big. When you know what the defense is going to do, you especially somebody of his talent level, you can exploit it eventually. But Keyshawn jumping up there and forcing him a certain direction, and then Jordan going in and just pushing him over the top, just giving him different looks was truly a team effort in that regard. And again, just proud of him.
How long do you expect Victor to be out?
Day to day. It's just one of those things that I'll ask Brian here in the morning. He's Brian Lindell. He's with him right now, and hopefully not much longer.
So he could play Monday?
You'd have to ask Brian. Thanks, guys.
Out on the floor at the same time, just what kind of dynamic do you feel like those lineups presented today, and what kind of potential do you feel like they have throughout the course of the season?
They'll take shape of their own. It's just we're in a learning phase. We're not a team that's been together for 3 years, 4 years, and everybody's gelled and knows what's going on. So we're all learning as we go. I think those lineups, they just they give us that that ability to keep teams on their toes. Like they don't know exactly what's going on. That makes us dangerous.
Hi, Jordan. You were letting it fly from deep tonight. How did it feel just being on the court?
Ooh, I was nervous a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm always nervous though before a game. It felt good to be back out there with the guys though. They put in so much work, and we all do as a unit. So it's good to be able to kind of reap the benefits of that with everybody.
I was going to say 2-0. How do you guys ride this momentum right now and keep this going?
Honestly, we're a very humble team. So, yes, we are 2-0, but we look at the next game like we're down 0-2 trying to prove something. So, every game we go into, we have a chip on our shoulder. We were picked, what were we picked in conference? Eighth, something. So,
7.
We wear UNLV on our chest with pride, and, we're here to bring it back to where it once was. So, that's what we're going to do.
What is it like playing the Thomas Mack?
It's amazing. I came from a smaller school, he came from a bigger school, so just being on the court and looking up in the crowd and seeing all the people smiling and stuff, it's amazing just to experience that and just be around it. It's just fun.
Got loud in there tonight.
Yeah.
Got loud in there. It's good to have everybody back.
Any other questions for the guys?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, guys.